What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Today we got an Arrma Typhon here, and did about 100 some mile per hour. I'm trying to take this baby to 130, 140. This is coming up summer 2020. I'm sorry, 2022. I'm going back 2 years. Anyways, we got 1 million diff oil, so I do want to change the diff oil on this baby a little bit. Right now it just way too doesn't have too much of friction between the diff gears, and just want to make a little bit of solid. So we're gonna do this together, and let's get this job. If you want to get this diff oil, it's like a silicone oil. It's 1 million. There's a part number here, 5465. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna begin from the front so you guys can see it all. And to take this guy off, we're gonna need a couple of tools. So we're gonna start off by removing this canopy here. So make sure you put everything in order, and we're gonna have to remove this little guy in the front here. So we're gonna have to fish out a couple of bolts from the bottom, but we're gonna have to switch up our bit here. And let's get this. This is a 2.5 millimeter. So there's 2 screws in the bottom here. The first 2 screws. Once I remove this guy, this thing should just come out, and we should have a better access to this little guy here. So there's 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 2 holding down this sway bar. So what we're gonna do is, to start off, we're gonna loosen up the 2 screws. Okay, I should have stuck with that. We're gonna get the 2 millimeter next, and we're gonna take off this guy. We're gonna just loosen it for now, because loosening it is gonna allow us to remove the holder down. Okay, this will hold the sway bar down. Screws are still in there. We're able to move this guy around. Now we're gonna have to switch up our bit again, and we're with 2.2 again. I'm sorry, 2.5. 2.5. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna remove completely. Okay, we're gonna remove this completely, this bolt. 1, 2, and there's 2 in the bottom, on each side. Let's make the camera zoom in a bit. So okay, that baby's out. This guy is coming out. I'm gonna have to get some gloves, because inside here we're gonna have grease, so we're gonna get a couple of gloves. But now what we're gonna use is our pick. Okay, to pull this out, it's gonna be very easy for us to pull out, but to put back in, it's gonna be a little bit hard. So what I like to do is I like to take one of the axles out here. So what I usually do is let's take off this wheel right here, and I need to get my impact gun for that. So we're gonna take this guy off, and to make things easy, take off the wheel. I like to take off one of these. Okay, usually the top one is more easier for me, and I do have a little spacer in there to make this thing perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to figure out what fits in there best. So 2.2 might fit in there better than all these other. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna allow this axle, we're gonna save that spacer, this axle in here to be out of the way. 1 is fine, okay. 1 is gonna let us take out this guy. So I did change diff on my limitless GT. So although there goes the cover, and there's the diff cover. So we should be able to take out this diff next. Okay. So at this point we should be able to pop this diff out. One guy left me a message that it was hard for him to watch. I don't know why it was hard for him to watch, and he said I should have had used a plate, paper plate maybe, and wash out the whole diff, but it's no need, okay? I'm sorry if it was hard for him to watch, but there's no need for all that. So this guy is ready to come out. You don't want to force it, so I'm just trying to. Sometimes it's very easy to pull out, sometimes it just pops up just like the cover. And these little screws, if you take them off a bit, like at least a one, it will help you get this diff out much easier. But I think I have the diff like crossed over, so I am going to try to. Okay, I don't want to yank anything, I don't want to damage anything. Let's turn this guy back. So it's pretty much out. The diff is already out, and it just needs to come out a little bit more. So it's touching here, and at the same time the bearings are not releasing it. So it might be due to this axle here. So if you want, take out both axles just to make my life easy. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just pop both axles. I did my limitless. I was able to do it with the one, but this guy doesn't want to understand. So we popped them both this time. And I do have different spacers here, so make sure you keep them in order. I don't want to mix up. So this side has two, that side has one. So taking off this second one should make it a lot easier, and you should be able to just yank on this and the diff comes right out. There's our diff, and we're gonna take this diff apart and change the oil in it. So you're gonna need space now. I'm gonna gather a couple of tissues and a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so we're back, and let's face our camera this way. I just want to adjust the camera a bit because we were looking all the way down here now. So what we want to do is we want to remove the bolts off this diff. So it has 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, it's gonna get messy. Come on. To do the back, it's the same process, so I'm not going to be recording that part, but it's the same exact thing. And we have our diffie that's ready to open up. Voila. There's the oil that comes with this little dark, that's the color they put. It's like that pretty much. So it does have the seal here, so usually I take off the seal, that way we don't. Okay, let's leave the seal on. It might bother us, but I don't want to damage the seal. And we're gonna pop out. Okay, the seal is gonna come off because it's gonna push everything out of the way. Okay, we don't want to damage the seal. The seal looks like it's gonna get damaged, but we just want to be careful. Like a paper type of gasket here. Okay, this is not going well for me right now, but gonna have to manage the seal to come off. Okay, I'm gonna go get another seal, and we might gonna be delayed now, but okay, there it is. I might be able to manage to close this guy up, so it's no problem. So there's our gears in tight. So now the whole process here is we're gonna clean the heck out of this. I'm gonna go get more tissues. So we got more tissues over here. So what I like to do here is I like to get all the crazy stuff out of there. So even this gear, I like to pull this gear off. There's our silly billy gasket. I might close it back with this one, then I'm gonna go get another gasket, but I do want to finish out the video. And we definitely don't want to lose diff oil. Okay, this guy just doesn't want to come out, so let's just clean the heck out of it. And we're gonna just let it sit here for a while, and meanwhile we'll clean the rest of the diff. I just wish that seal didn't go bad. Let's see if I get this. Yeah, there you go. That's what I wanted. Need the gear to come off so we can clean the heck out of this. And then let me grab this gear. More tissues. We need more tissues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all this, and then we're going to come back and finish out the video. Okay, so I'm all done with this guy, and it was a little messy, but I got it. I let this thing sit upside down for a bit, and all the fluid came out. Now it's time for us to put everything back together. There is a seal behind this, so you don't want to lose that seal as well. And this guy goes in. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to build this diff, and then we're gonna put all the fluid back in there. So this guy's gonna sit in here. Okay, let me line this little guy here. It might not be so easy to line these, but it just takes time. Just make them sit. So this Typhon is going to be reaching around 130 miles per hour. It's coming up summer. I do have few gears for this guy. Got a 25. We're going to start off with probably 25. I'll select the gears, and every time I do a run I will show you guys. But this is what's looking like inside right now. And the other half, we're going to dip that in next. The other half goes in. Okay, the other half needs to go in, and it needs to sit properly. Sometimes if you move things around, and it will start to wiggle. Okay, we'll take it back out because it's not aligning. So this needs to face down, just like the shaft. Okay, come on, sit. There you go, perfect. So it's like a half and half, so it's a splice in between. So once it sits, and everything should just turn magically like that. So now we're gonna move all this stuff out of the way. Let's wipe this down. Let's get a clean rag down here. Time for us to open this guy. So the million is going in. So this is gonna be a hard part. So what I like to do is I like to grab a chunk, big chunk. And then extra, you could always swipe off. And if you need to put more, you can put more. I had a guy send me a message. He said uses a popsicle stick. That's a good idea. Anything that you can work with. Okay. Okay. Pat it down. Remember, it needs to go all the way down, so you might have to turn the gear so they can take it in. Tap, 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 tap. Turn it, turn it, turn it till it reaches down below. Tap it, tap it, tap it. Okay, let's turn bore. I think that was just more than enough, so there's gonna be a little bit of extra in here. That's fine, and it will split out whatever it doesn't need, whatever it won't accept. Okay, but I think that's looking pretty good. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna wipe off the outer edge of this diff. So I am gonna close this up with this bad seal here, but I need to get a seal, but I'm gonna have to run out. So let's see what we can manage here right now. So this seems like it came off right over here. It's like a small piece still there. Okay, I had seal sitting around, and now is the time when you need it. Okay, yes. That looks good to me. There you go. So it's sitting pretty good. What we're gonna do is we're gonna let this sit here. What I want to do here is I want to put one screw here, one on the opposite side. Then I'm gonna grab my tool here. Okay, we're gonna wait a bit. I do need to fix this guy up. Why you had to break, Mr. Seal gasket? There you go. Looks pretty good there. Okay, now is the critical part. So you do need to get this guy to sit properly and snug in the gears. At the same time, make sure your seal sits perfectly. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna lock up this baby. Okay, it's no problem me using this guy right now. So when you squeeze this guy in, a lot of the fluids is gonna find its path out, and most of it is gonna find its path where it belongs. And let's get the other two screws. One, two. This guy came off. We don't want to rip this guy apart, but there you go. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. I need to clean this, go clean this guy out, because we don't want that excessive silicone out of there, okay? But there you go. And we're gonna finish out this. Let me just go clean this out. So I'm gonna blow a lot of air on it. I'm gonna get all that crazy stuff out of there. Okay, so we're back. Clean the heck out of this. Let's put this to the side. It's a big mess here, so what we're gonna do is just clean it up, put this to the side, and we're gonna bring the Typhon over. So this diff is nice and tight now. That's how it's supposed to be. Anyways, remember, we took this part this way. We're gonna put it back the same way, and this baby goes right in. Okay, the diff was a little tough to get in, but you're gonna have to move it around. Be careful with that screw. The axles are still out, so I'll get them in later, but let's put in the cover. And from here, what you want to do is you want to put the 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and after that you want to make sure everything aligns. You're gonna put your sway bar in and put the cover on, put the axles in, and put this guy in. Okay, this doesn't feel right. Okay, so I'm gonna fix this up too. It's too tight here. Too tight in here. It should be just like that. Alright, so that's it. We're all done and set. And I'm gonna finish out the rest of the car as soon as everything is in place. Put in this screw here. There you go. All set. We're gonna put the sway bar in next. And the cover goes in. Oops. Okay. That's it, we're all done. Gonna put the spacers in. I'm gonna fix this guy up. It's a little too tight. I'll take care of that in a little bit. Anyways, that's it.